Alright. Well, what's good, everybody? This is the GoodieJar Blog presents Storytime with Nhayah Goode. That's me. A plethora of delicious stories and topics. And toast to episode 7, the season finale of season 1. Toast to me and toast to you for listening, and toast to everybody just for toast sakes. Yes, if you had some drink something, even if it's just some water. Drink your spit, as some mothers used to tell their children when their children said they was thirsty and they ain't feel like hearing all that. Drink your spit. I'm just playing. Anyways, thank you everyone for listening. I really appreciate you guys downloading. I've been seeing the numbers. I'm so grateful for just everything, the increase, the listeners. Just thank you. I appreciate you, each and every one of you. So yeah, like I said, this is the season 1 finale. I hope you all enjoyed this first season. I'm looking forward to bringing you more contents, co-hosts in season 2, and delicious stories and topics, okay? Now, all season long, I've been sharing random things about me. Now I'm looking at the camera for those of you that are watching on YouTube. Sometimes I get distracted looking at myself in the camera. But anyways, so you've gotten to know me through these episodes, whatever I want to tell you about or whatever. And so on episode 7, season 1 finale, I want to tell you all that, like, I don't know if y'all know this. Some of y'all do. I say that sarcastically. I love astrology so much. I love astronomy, astrology. I love it all. It's so exciting for me. The planets, everything celestial. Now, I was first reintroduced because at some point in our lifetime, we definitely been there and seen these things before. So I'm gonna say reintroduced, or that part of me was reactivated back in elementary school in Las Vegas, Nevada. Y'all know I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. You know, as soon as I say Vegas, my whole tone changed. But in Las Vegas at Helen Her, I feel like the greatest elementary school ever. I loved Helen Her. I got in a lot of trouble at Helen Her because I was really, really challenging during my 1st and 5th grade, and maybe even other years. But I love Helen Her anyway. So, but they had a really good curriculum there, because in like kindergarten and first grade, I don't remember which one. Shout out to Miss Perry. I love Miss Perry. She was my kindergarten and 1st grade teacher. She, in the class, we had to do, write a paper about a planet that we loved or whatever. And so, when I was in elementary school, I chose Venus, the planet of balance and love and, luxury and all those beautiful things, right? I chose Venus. I do not remember what the paper was. Of course, I don't have the paper still, so I don't know where that was at, but I do know that that was my first writing assignment, and it was about astrology. And this was so memorable to me because afterwards, this was when I was 5 years old, because that's when we got Venus. So I had to write this paper when I was like 5, because that's when we went and adopted a dog. It was a pit bull, and we named her Venus. So yes, that all happened when I was 5 years old, 1994. That's when I was 5. So yeah, so then we got a dog and we named her Venus, and she was so beautiful and peaceful and loving, just like, the planet Venus is supposed to be, and all those associated with it. But yeah, man, and that was that was kindergarten, 1st grade-ish. And so then later on, in later years, one of the houses that we lived in when I was growing up had the most perfect view of the planet Venus. And that was the same time I got a telescope. My mom had got me a telescope. And I remember we were just really in the space of telescopes. We went somewhere, I mean, it was like telescopes were everywhere. And it was like calling on me. And so I think I asked for that for Christmas or something like that. So then I got a telescope, and then I got a little book to go with the telescope. And so I would, look for shit in the sky, look for stuff. But the planet Venus really shone on our home, that my mom had got this beautiful home. And the planet Venus really just shone. And I remember I could tell, I knew it was Venus because I had the book, and the book would show me exactly like what the planet looked like when I looked through the telescope. So it's pretty amazing to have a dog, and Venus lived for a long time too. She was like, how old was she when I was 20 when she passed away, the dog, right before I went to Iraq too, which was crazy. But yeah, we had her for a long time. So we had the dog Venus, and then Venus was over. I never put those two and two together when I was a child. But as I was writing this episode out, it occurred to me that that was what it was. Anyways, and speaking of Venus, I heard recently in the news that the NASA's going to start they're going to do some mission. I was going to pull it up on my phone, the article, but listen, I don't want to get distracted trying to find it. Something in my head already said you're not going to find it. So I'm just going to wait because there wasn't, Google it. There was an article that came up about how NASA got all these fucking plans for space. They want to send black people to space. They want to send women to space. It's finna get crazy up there, apparently. They want to go to Mars. They want to try to figure it out. And Venus, they're going to send people to Venus, apparently. All kind of shit. So Google it. Something about that. NASA is trying to get it popping right now. And then I heard Jeff Bezos trying to fly out there on the Breakfast Club. And they asses, they always categorize like black people don't want to go to space. Stop picking up the phone calls when you guys ask questions like that for the people that definitely don't want to go. And pick up the phone for the people who's like, hell yeah, I definitely want to go to space. But anyways, that's another story. I got some shit to talk about that came from the Breakfast Club later on in my debunkery episode. So stay motherfucking tuned, okay? Because they be acting up. They constantly be acting up. Anyways, finally, and over the years, I have really deeply studied astrology, really delved in, and I'm still delving in. There's so much to learn, so much. And I actually just finished writing my first book, which will delve into astrology in some type of way. And so you'll definitely be seeing that very, very soon. Trust me on this. Yes. Anyways, so kicking off Storytime with Nhayah Goode, a plethora of delicious stories and topics with a Storytime segment. Now, sometimes the stories change. In this segment, I tell stories about something in my life experience or my main topic of the day of the show. Like episode 6, I was talking about the transgendered, situation and all that. In episode 7, season 1, I'm going to close out this season with a story about me. Anyway, so I've been told I have a gift for storytelling, and I envision myself, like I've always envisioned myself, as an elder of my village, telling stories in the future of the way things work, because it's gonna be crazy. I got to tell the next generations about this shit right here, for sure. Anyway, I just wanted to and also this is all my music playing in the background, so it's copywritten, YouTube and all that. This is my shit. And the producer of the record. And so that song was Light as a Feather, or it's Light as a Feather, but it's a feather on all digital music streaming platforms. And this one right here is Blow Your Mind. Just wanted to put that out there real quick, real fast. Anyway, so jumping right back into the segment. I just wanted to briefly tell you all how I got to this place of walking in my gifted purpose and just kind of allowing my gifts, not even allowing because I ain't even write kinda in my notes, allowing my gifts to make financial and just the free will and the space for me to create. You guys know that I'm an Iraq combat veteran. I was in the Army, and so after the military, in my time in school studying radio and television broadcasting, I did the corporate thing. I worked at PBS, you know, I worked at CBS and Telemundo, and then I actually worked at a newspaper called Killeen Daily Herald out there in Fort Hood. Shout out to Fort Hood. Additionally, a sidebar, there's a couple sidebars. I wrote a sidebar in here, but the other sidebar is that my mama always said I was always going to want to do for myself as far as professionally. So I love to see that that actually has come into fruition. But and then the other sidebar is that my grandparents actually used to deliver newspapers out there in Portsmouth, Virginia. The legendary Virginia Pilot. We used to deliver newspapers, and that was actually one of the most memorable and most fun times of my life. A kid just running around delivering newspapers with my grandparents. Like I said, I was a challenging kid growing up, so I wasn't always on my best behavior. But we got the work done. We got the work done. And so yeah, that I used to do that when I would visit them when I was a child. So it was kind of interesting to just, you know, be working at a newspaper as an adult after, as a child. That was kind of like one of my first gigs, you know, via my grandparents. And so yeah, when I was working in the corporate positions after the military, I had some challenging you know, situations. And it, you know, it was all me, you know, getting shifted into my purpose. But at the same time, I did want to do these things in corporate world, but I realized that it was only just for temporary. Some things are just for temporary, but I'm so glad I got to experience it, because check it out. So, y'all do not know this, but I was actually terminated from 4 jobs in 1 year. I'm gonna use that word. Y'all know what terminated means. Go Google it. Anyways, now I did not get terminated from PBS. They loved me, because I also went to school at the school too. But so they knew I meant well. It was the other places didn't know I meant well. But I also worked at CBS and Telemundo in Austin, Texas, as a master control engineer. This was my position at both of these places. A master control engineer is basically the person that controls everything that is going on with, like, the shows being put out into the, you know, damn streaming world on television. So I was the one that kind of, you know, made sure that the commercials were running smoothly. If there was any live news broadcast, I would have to, you know, circulate that through. If there was any wild ass weather situations, I would have to get that through. When there, like, for instance, the Stephen Colbert show, that show was live, I would have to make sure everything was on point with that, and I actually fucked that up one time. But that wasn't why I got terminated. You make mistakes. But this was actually when Stephen Colbert actually took over the show after, I guess, David Letterman or some shit had left the show. So that's when I started working there. And then when the first night he went live, I accidentally kind of messed up those commercials. It was my first live broadcast that I had to control behind the scenes. So that was kind of interesting, but a really, really serious and very intense job. It was very, very got to be on point. When it was at PBS, it was a little bit more chill because nothing was live, versus where CBS, obviously, and then Telemundo. So I worked for both of them, the Spanish side and the English side, which was just such a dope experience on so many levels. But and so then I worked at Killeen Daily Herald, which is a newspaper, and I was doing sales, because, you know, they don't really do a whole lot of that was only about 5 or 6, what is it, 2021? About, when did I work there? 17, I think it was 2017. I was working in sales. They didn't have, like, any, I think it was like one black guy writer, no black women writers. So I was in sales, and so that happened. And then I worked for Favor, which was a really, really dope ass delivery company that's only in Texas. When I was working for Favor, the delivery service, this was when I was working at CBS too. So I was like doing it both at the same time. I would get off CBS and then I would go drive for Favor, and I was just getting it, because I mean, you can make a lot of money with Favor. It was a dope ass delivery service. They have to tip you whatever, and like there's just no way out of it. And so and then the company will tip you on top of that. It was really a dope experience. But Favor is just like super dope, because they'll deliver anything and everything. Low delivery fees. It's not crazy, because I'm telling you, I literally delivered nail clippers to a guy one night. He just wanted nail clippers. That's it. I delivered that. And then I had this one lady, and I had to actually drop this stuff off at like a like a institution of some sort. I don't know, but she took me on this lavish shopping spree. She had everything detailed. Go here, buy this jean. Go here, buy this jean. And it was like a $400 shopping spree. I got like a $100 tip. So it was pretty crazy. They used to do things like if you deliver during like the Oscars or the football games, shit, when people are sitting at home, they give you bonuses. One time I got a $200 bonus. So it was really a dope company, but I got fired from there too. And a call center, after all that shit had acted up, after all that, I was like, let me try this call center out, child. This last resort. And so, yeah. And so, side story about CBS, which is another situation where things came full circle. So when I was younger, I think I might have said this on a different episode. I used to love like radio broadcasting, television broadcasting. I would visualize myself as a reporter and all this type of stuff. And I would record myself, like I would record the music from 98.5 KLUC out there in Vegas. And then I would record myself talking as if I was the radio engineer. And then I would put the music on, just crazy shit. So I've always really loved radio and television broadcasting and all of it. So I used to watch the news all the time. Plus, that's what, most of your parents had playing in the background. So you knew who your broadcasters was, okay? And so we used to watch, CBS was the news choice in my household. And Chris Saldana, that was a reporter that I used to watch on CBS growing up all the time. I remembered him. He also worked at the TV station I worked at in Austin, Texas. I was like, oh my God, this shit is crazy. Full circle, I grew up watching this man report on the scene. And now he's, one of the anchors on the morning broadcast. So that was pretty dope just to be around it, even though he was not nice. Now you can Google him. On my other episodes, I'd be like, I ain't gonna name drop. You Google him though. You Google him. Now, take a sip. Or a smoke, or both. I almost damn near choked just so I get that part out for you. But, you might ask, now how in the hell does one, get terminated 4 times? And I own it. Now, in the beginning, I was kind of embarrassed, like, oh my God. But after you, oh my God, and you reflect, you be like, yeah, and that's part of the story, boo. Story time with Nhayah Goode. And so, the why and the how is I was slowly shedding my intolerance for restrictive, tight-ass corporate work environments. Period. That was it. I just got out of the military and I was fighting battles in the military. Boom! And I was winning them bitches too. But I just got done being in uniform and having to stand at motherfucking and having to salute. And then let's not even talk about my militant ass childhood. Cause shit, my parents didn't play and my mother didn't play. And I thank her for not always playing. She could have been a little nice, but she ain't had time to play. Black moms back in the day, they ain't had time to play with you. You got to get your shit together. But anyways, so yeah, I'm just like, damn, I think at that point I just was like, you know what? I'm about to say what? You know what? Miley Cyrus was good. I'm not tolerating this shit. So case in point, Chris, imagine achieving your dreams of working at a TV station and meeting someone you watched as a child in your hometown. And somehow y'all align in another city. And he's an asshole. He's not even nice. My mom was the first black female police lieutenant in Las Vegas, Nevada. She, even though she climbed that ladder, it was not the easiest climb. So I just was reflecting on that, like, do I really want to deal with this shit? I mean, do I really want to deal with this type of shit? And so these were some of the things that transpired during that time frame. A co-worker at CBS and Telemundo, that was actually a setup. A co-worker intentionally started an argument with me, and I didn't realize it was a setup, and I raised my voice like, well, what are you talking about? Something like that. I didn't say, you bitch ass bitch. I just said, what are you talking? I raised my voice. because that was emphasized in the counseling statement. She raised her voice. But he started an argument with me. That part wasn't, you know, whatever. But whatever, I ain't even tripping. But I didn't realize it was set up, you know, and so that happened. Then when I'm at fucking the newspaper, the newspaper was a crazy experience. Because, you know, sales is very competitive. Sales is very competitive. And, you know, if you're not making sales, they'll fire your ass. So you better be making sales. Oh, and it was just, it was one of the most tight working experiences it was tighter than the military almost. It was almost as tight as, because he didn't even want people talking to each other in the sales. The general manager, each of these type of establishments have a general manager, just like a grocery store. General manager at KDH, Colleen De Lero, didn't even want people talking to each other. It was kind of like, what the fuck? And so, you know, I fought with that one. The other jobs I was at for a year. This one, not so much. So and so the kicker at the newspaper was that they wanted me to start giving up my sales to another salesperson. And the whole objective of this specific publication that we were selling for, you know, that we were reaching out to these businesses to advertise in, was a really like, oh yeah, you want to get the sales. And I'm talking about, I was booming. I had mastered the sales shit. I was getting the sales. I remember that day alone, I had confirmed like 2 or 3 sales. The manager gonna come back talking about, hey, I'm gonna need you to give that sales up to that person. And it just didn't, y'all, it just didn't sit right with me. It just did not sit right with me. Like, you mean to tell me I worked all this hard to, and you know, salespeople gotta be a little stalkerish. They gotta, hey, it's me again. Hey, it's me. How you doing? They know me and shit. You know, now you telling me I gotta give it up to this person? It didn't sit right with me. So I remember my whole shit changed that day. I was like, okay. And so that's what happened with that one. That's what happened with that one. And so, and then finally, and then with the delivery service, because this is job number 3 now, with the delivery service, I just got too irritable. I think I remember exactly the kicker with the delivery service. This lady didn't know what was on the menu. She had me at the restaurant looking at the menu for her. And I was just like, I just could remember myself just like, is she fucking for real? The call was just crazy. I'm never rude or just fucking ugh. That was back when I was 18. But at this was like when I'm 26 or what was it, 27-ish. And so I'm like, I'm never rude, but I just was like, you could tell I just had it. And then they deactivated my account, you know, the next day. But it was crazy. I kept getting like funds from Favor from just delayed tips and things. So for like about 3 or 4 months, I just kept getting like $30, $40. It was crazy. But, and then finally, the call center one, oh my God. Child had just came back from Puerto Rico, so I think I was just like, man, fuck this. And I don't know. But it wasn't even that. I was having fun at the call center. What had happened is that I was on my phone when I entered the call center entryway. And apparently the big rule was you cannot talk on your phone entering the call center entryway. And so I like, you know, discipline and shit like that. But if it don't make sense, anybody that really know me know I'm just not gonna go with it. I'm just not. If it doesn't make sense, it's not. I didn't understand why I couldn't talk on the phone. And I remember it was a guy I met in Puerto Rico. We were still communicating very briefly while I was in Puerto Rico, and I was on the phone with him. And the security guard, she was Russian, and she just kind of went fucking ham. And so, long story short, I remember telling her at the desk, and I quote, this is a direct quote. I remember I told her because she was going ham, like, get your phone off. I mean, because I wouldn't have said this if I didn't, you know, I know me. Some of y'all need to know you a little bit more. Some of y'all know y'all know I know me. I know I wouldn't have taken things this far if she wouldn't have gave me some type of energy that required me to check her on site. Sometimes I let some shit slide. I will let some shit slide. but I definitely checked her on sight. And so, and I quote, if you would have been talking to me the way you're doing outside of this building, you would have got your ass whooped. That's what I said. I remember that. See, I'm going to always tell all parts of the story. What I did, what you did, and everything that don't nobody else want to tell. But I definitely said that straight up. And when they pulled me in the office, I couldn't say nothing. I just was like, yeah. What Cat Williams say? You shouldn't have been talking shit. Somebody said you shouldn't have been talking shit. Anyways, it was all me. You know, none of that was truly where I wanted to be doing shit like that. So it's like the universe was like, all right, you said you wanted to work at CBS one day. I'm gonna give it to you, but you're not gonna be there that long. Just enjoy the experience and keep it pushing around here, right? So finally, a car accident, y'all. I got in a car accident. I was driving back and forth to Austin an hour every to and from, going to work, an 11 to 7 shift, and then getting off and then working, you know, maybe 4 hours driving around the city of Austin and then driving an hour back. Like, I was doing some wild ass shit, bro. shit y'all know about. I ain't gonna act like ain't nobody ever did no shit like that before. but it was some shit. Anyway, so then I got in a car accident, and this car accident was crazy, but nothing happened. Like, I didn't break anything, but it was actually like the ambulance, couple of the witnesses, and the people at the hospital was like, oh my God, you shoulda. And and so it was pretty crazy. It was a road rage situation. The guy was mad because, you know, in certain places you get on the interstate slow. He didn't like it. He came and found me in the fast lane like 2 minutes later and started really being aggressive with me or whatever. And so I tried to switch lanes, get the fuck out of his way, and he switched right along with me. My vehicle lost control. I spun all the way to the right side of the interstate, and then I spun all the way to the left side, boom, into the barrier, and then I spun back to the center. And all traffic had stopped. I was so grateful for that, because, woo! Like, the car did all of this, did this. Literally went boom, 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 boom. Shit was crazy. Nothing though. I had a scratch from my necklace twisting or whatever, but nothing, not even one of my, I remember my head hitting the daggone steering wheel and everything and thinking, oh, I guess this is, I remember thinking, y'all, I even remember the thought that crossed my mind when I hit the daggone joint. I said, I guess this is it. I literally remember thinking that, but then it wasn't it. So I spun back into the middle of the intersection. Ooh, almost got a little emotional just then, but so I spun back into the middle of the intersection. And then this white woman comes running up to me, and she's just in shock too. But anyway, so that happened. So then I was like, you know what? Let me see what's going on with things. And so suddenly that car accident propelled me into alignment with so many things, and doors opened extremely wide for me. And I would like to sidebar that when I went to Puerto Rico, I actually walked into a cultural store down there in Old San Juan that had the Haitian deity or God, Papa Legba, and he's the one that opens doors for you, you know? And then I come back, so I saw that when I went to Puerto Rico in 2016, and then I come back home, and then the situation with the car accident, or I think the car accident might have happened before. And then we went. I don't even know. Either way, went to Puerto Rico, saw Papa Legba, and then doors started opening up for me. I remember right after all these situations. Anyways, I'm talking about in every direction, things were opening up for me. I narrated a book, even though the author decided to go a different direction, or something happened where the engineer that was producing the narration just got tired of the narration. Because, editing a narrated book, 400 pages, is an exhaustive task. So you want to not just sign up for the lump sum that you get in the beginning. You want to really understand that this is going to take some time. But so they just gave all the audio back to the author and didn't even finish editing it. So that was a situation. But everything was paid. It was just astonishing. Like, the doors opened so wide there. I got hella paid music gigs. A couple of them was, free, but so many of them, and I'm talking about I was gigged up, especially in Texas. Just hella gigs, and I ended up opening for Freddie Jackson and Glenn Jones, which are two legendary R&B singers from back in the day. You can see that video on my YouTube. It's down there somewhere. It's labeled as the opening for Freddie Jackson situation. I got paid for that. And so I'm emphasizing that because there's a lot of artists that act like they can't get paid on an indie level. And a wise mentor, even though he turned out to be an idiot later on, because, you know, there's always balance, said that you are what you negotiate. So I got paid for the Freddie Jackson opening. Thank you. O Entertainment. All kind of cultural events. Lounges. I did a retirement gig one time for a major out there in Killeen, Texas. Only sang 2 songs and got 200. Okay? And I ain't even had no band. I just did instrumental, so it was all mines. Because if I have a band, then I split the dividends up. I mean, hella paid gigs. I did 4 stage plays in 1 year. And as I mentioned in other episodes of this podcast, that one of the stage plays ended up on DVD and is on Amazon Prime now. I traveled with 2 of the stage plays to a different location. We went like on tour. Little G from Silk was my husband in one of the stage plays. Shirley Murdoch was the mom of the main character in one of my stage plays. Denzel Wells from If Loving You Is Wrong, a Tyler Perry television show, was one of the actors too. So I got to do theater, and I love theater. I really do love theater. I got some stage plays I'm writing right now. And so I did that. I was volunteering at a cultural bookstore, and then she hired me as her social media content creator and executive assistant. And then we also curated a dope ass event together that was always packed and popping 10. And then I was waitressing and bartending at a black-owned event. So I was working at a whole bunch of black-owned. Shout out to everybody that was black that hired me, straight up. Some of them lounges I performed at were at black-owned lounges. Like all the cultural events were black-owned thrown events. I was hired and paid for by black-owned people. After all the shit had happened with the corporations and the car accident. It was just amazing. Shout out to Miss Carolyn over there at the, I can't even remember the daggone, at the E-Center. She hired me as a waitress, and I'm over here, you know, waitressing for these concerts, so I'm getting that type of shit. And then, and that's how I ended up opening for Freddie Jackson, and then I ended up meeting Tank, and Chico Bean, because they did things at the event center like she was popping, and it was black on. She always had dope ass events there. And so, you know, I got a gig from waitressing. It was just astonishing. Then I got to meet Tank. And side note, Tank is my twin flame. We're both born on January 1st, and so is Morris Chestnut. So I'm in good Capricorn company. In fact, I found out Samuel L. Jackson, Denzel, and Morris L. are all Capricorns. Yes, the Capricorn gang lit. We lit. But anyways, then finally, I became fully compensated from my time in the military for all the shit I endured when I was fucking with them. Allowing me even more free will to do everything that I want and bring everything into fruition. And trust me on this, I have some amazing things about to make their physical appearance, Ashe. So I just wanted to end this story by saying, remember what you ask for in life, and don't be surprised or reject it when life produces it to you. Okay? Don't be like, what the fuck? I mean, of course you might be like, what the fuck? But if you stay focused and shit and don't never take like some type of, you know, loss or anything so heavily and shit, and just keep it pushing, shit will open up. Try not to observe everything as a loss. Always see the damn gains, all right? Ashe. Ashe. So that was my story time segment. Just a little bit about me. I'm so grateful for everything that I have, you know, experienced, for real. You know, I love it. Be grateful for your experiences. They really, whoo, child, they really mold you. All right. So now, for the next segment, the weather and celestial report. I added a bit. Season 2 gonna be lit. But I added the celestial report to my weather report. You know, all season long, I just been doing weather, and you've been seeing how I've been modifying things over the seasons. And so, I I'm gonna add the celestial report too. Let me see how this go, all right? In this segment, I briefly run through the current temperatures and weather fluctuations across the country and somewhere abroad at the time of this podcast. And it is June 10th at 5:07 p.m. up in this bitch. Time is motherfucking flying, okay? It's wild out here, bro. It's wild. A little story behind this. I love and pay attention to the weather. I already told you my celestial story, but I love and pay attention to the weather, the sky, nature. And like I tell you all the time, my grandfather, he used to have a weather channel permanently playing at his house, child. He could tell you everything that was going on, with the weather. Even if you call him from way over there in Korea. Which is where one of the places I was stationed at. He could tell you what's going on. It looks like you're gonna get some rain in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I saw it. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm always looking at the sky and just like, what's going on? Like, I really be into the weather. I be very, very aware. Anyway, so he can always tell you what's going on in your city. And as far as the weather here in Atlanta, it is fluctuating between Gotham City and wanna be sunny. You know how Atlanta do. I said last episode is wet Atlanta, not just hot Atlanta, it's wet Atlanta. And when I'm really being facetious, I call it Gotham City because it really does get dark and gloomy around this motherfucker. It's 82 degrees right now. It's been raining. It just had a damn storm 2 seconds ago. And so now the sun is out. Who knows? It's supposed to rain on Friday, but then after that, apparently from this Saturday to next Saturday, like I said, is June 10th. It's supposed to be sunny, 90s, 80s, humid. Right now, the humidity is 67 degrees with a continued 40% chance of rain. And in Atlanta, Georgia, if it say it's gonna rain, baby, it ain't gonna play with you. It ain't like the rest of these cities. Moving right along. One of my favorite cities here in America, Miami. In fact, I just came back from Florida last week. Had me a little me-cation. Oh, and it was so much fun. That's my little paradise since I'm not going to be subscribing to any of these so-called requirements that they have for all this other type of traveling. I'm just whatever. You can have your Mexico and you can have all your shit. I'm going to stay here until shit get back to just flying. I don't want to show nothing but an ID card and a boarding pass, boo. So I'm gonna go to Miami. Anyways, Miami was 86 degrees. It was really beautiful out there. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 86 degrees right now, and it was beautiful when I was there last week. Very, very, very sunny. It's got rain coming down across the board for the next week or whatever, but in Miami, it might just do a little run through or whatever, and then it'll keep it pushing, It's 66 as far as humidity, so it's looking pretty good out there. And let's see what's going on in New York. Damn! Ooh. Now, if you was tuned into the other episodes here this season, New York was pretty shitty. I mean, the weather is crazy. But this must be the hot times in New York. Reminds me of all the summertime episodes of Sex and the City when they finally get to shed their coats and shit and be wearing their cute summer shit. It's 81 degrees in New York, 70s. It's gonna fluctuate down to 72 here tomorrow. I guess a big ass temperature drop. That's gonna be in the highs. But from here, June 10th till next week, whatever that day is, it's gonna be pretty good tip, 70s, 80s, and 70s again. But the humidity is 39%, so that's pretty good. Looking pretty good out there in New York. Gotta always go to Texas. Let's see, which city? Austin, 93 degrees. Austin is looking so beautiful. 93 degrees, 51% humidity, suns across the board from here June 10th till, June 17th, let's say. Because I'm doing it for a full week. So just suns and 90s across the board. It get hot in Austin though. I remember my first summer ever just really experiencing Austin. And we was standing in line for a burger over there at Hop Dottie's. I remember I was hot and I damn near came apart, okay? And my city of Las Vegas, I love my city so much. Oh my God, it's 86 degrees here on June 10th, which is astonishing. Because look at this. 86 degrees in Vegas today. And then it jumps to 99 tomorrow and 100s across the board from June 10th here to June 7th motherfucking 10th. I get to the weather part. I get to the weather report and motherfucker comes out of my mouth 100 times. But 100, oh my God. Next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is going to be 115 degrees in Las Vegas. All dry heat. It's only 6% humidity. So I wouldn't even be walking around with clothes on. I would walk around in a bathing suit and look at motherfuckers like, what? Yeah, it's hot. Oh my God. And so finally going to Cairo, 79 degrees in Egypt. It is looking lovely in Egypt. So it's a cool weekend this weekend because after today it's gonna turn up. So it's even cool in Cairo right now, but it's nighttime, so it's 79 degrees. But in Cairo, it's 90s across the board and motherfucking suns across the board, 57%. Eventually I will get there, but Egypt is gonna be on hold for now because I don't know what they got going on I don't know. Anyway, so that's the weather. You know, it's summertime, baby. It is summertime and I am happy it's here. Now, in celestial news, y'all know we in retrograde season, right? And in fact, at the time of this recording, there is a Mercury retrograde. I think we are on like week 3 of Mercury retrograde. Saturn has been retrograde in Aquarius for like the last, I think, month. Don't quote me, go Google it. Listen, okay? Pluto has been retrograde in Capricorn for at least a couple months. And of course, the North Node has been retrograde in Gemini for a while now too. I've been seeing this R for a while. So it's retrograde season. Retrograde season is in full effect, so protect your neck. Keep moving forward. You know, relax, take it easy. I'm so glad Feather came on at the time that I'm talking about this retrograde. Take it easy, you know. Right now it's Gemini season, so shit. You know Gemini, oh my God. The sun is in Gemini. The moon is in Gemini. Like I said, Mercury is in Gemini. Venus is in Cancer. Mars is in Cancer. Jupiter is in Pisces. Uranus is in Taurus. Neptune is in Pisces. And Pluto is still in Capricorn for its probably 20th year of its transit in Capricorn. Now, one of these days I'm gonna have an astrological episode. This is not the time right now. If you know astrology, then you know what all that means. If you're new, then get on your research job. Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. There's several books out here that can tell you, just break it all down for you, everything that I'm talking about. But those are where the planets are at in these signs as of June 10th, okay? So, like I said, it's retrograde season, baby. Protect your neck, okay? And do all that. That was my weather and celestial reports. I hope you enjoyed it. That is going to be a new thing in season 2. This was the first time I did the celestial report here on season 1, so I hope you enjoyed it. I might get a little bit more into it, but I'm giving you a 2-hour season finale because I got a lot of shit to talk about. Moving right along to the debunkery. Let's take a sip and let's listen to this feather real quick. And me, I light a new couple of essence. I ain't even got no smoke going. Let's pause. Always set your intentions when burning things. Shout out to my girl Sharita for reminding me to not just be burning incense, but to set an intention. Sometimes you need to be reminded of things, get in the habits of just doing them, and then forget the ritual aspect of it. All right, guys, so the debunkery! This is my favorite segment besides my story time. All my segments are my favorite. I'm not gonna be picky. Like Abraham, one of the people that I listen to. Y'all know who Abraham is. Laws of attraction guru, spiritualist. She is amazing. She says walk around your space and walk around your environment and just say everything is your favorite. It is. It's all my favorite. Anyway, so the debunkery. In this segment, I discuss things happening in mainstream media, especially The Breakfast Club, and highlight where they fucked up at. Okay? And recently on The Breakfast Club, guys. Recently on The Breakfast Club, rumor reports, they mentioned how Hillary Clinton responded to QAnon reporters and their accusations that she's a baby blood drinking pedophile demon who's feeding off of adrenochrome. And you know what? You know what The Breakfast Club did, especially Charlamagne. Immediately, he debunked and began to spin that story into the idea that it's just not true. That it is just what are you talking about? There is no way. There's no absolute way that could be a thing. Why the fuck is it not true? Okay, I mean, if anybody has even tried to do a little bit of research instead of just watching QAnon and going off of what all of the fucking liars have been saying, why don't you research what the fuck? You know, what, let's see, delve into it. Delve into it just a little bit. Additionally, Hillary never did deny it in this video. Go Google the video. She never denied it. She just said that it was cruel that people would say it. That's something I'd be, what? It's cruel? No, it's more than cruel. It's fucking crazy that they would specifically say some shit like that right there. They could have said anything. They could have said anything. They could have said anything. But they said that you drink baby's blood and that you're a pedophile demon. That is some shit. That's some shit. I mean, and so no matter all the atrocities that we've seen, kidnapping children for wicked purposes is impossible, right? That shit's just no way. You might want to do some research and see who the fuck is really being human trafficked. At one point, they try to make it seem like women, grown-ass women, were at risk. And I'm like, why the fuck would they want to try to pick me up on the side of the road? That's a lot of work. That's going to be a lot of work. And it's not funny, but I mean, as it pertains to how much work it would be to try to get one of me off, that's a lot of work. Speaking of politicians saying weird shit and being accused of weird shit and doing weird shit, your president. Now, I know y'all seen the video with your presidents on Memorial Day, supposed to be honoring the dead, but his alleged pedophilia slipped right through the motherfucking cracks. I don't know why I'm saying alleged. Only fucking weirdos would say some of the shit that he be saying about little girls. Through most of his appearances on camera, he has said something strange about a little girl. But for some reason, y'all not blowing that shit up. Well, I'm gonna be one of the few people that be talking about this shit. Okay? And I quote, this is a direct quote from the video, guys. In the Memorial Day video, you're going to have to Google Biden says creepy things at the 2021 Memorial Day function. And I quote, he says, I love those barrettes in her hair. I tell you what. Now, the I tell you what part is what really got me. That did it for me. Go look at the video. He said, I love those barrettes in her hair. I tell you what. Now, where I'm from, if a person says, I tell you what, if they follow up any type of sentence or anything with, I tell you what, it's about to be some real wild shit finna come after that shit. The shit got me fired up because that shit, it's right there. He said, talking to the damn, this is at the Memorial Day address, talking to a veteran's daughter. He said, I love those barrettes in her hair. I tell you what. Then the alleged pedo in chief says, and I quote, this is a direct quote from him. Look at her. Looking like she's 19, sitting there like a little lady with her legs crossed. The rager and warrior in me, like, that shit is astonishing to me. I hope y'all feel me when y'all watch this video and when y'all hear me talk on this podcast, how fucking creepy that shit is. Nobody should be saying anything like that when they looking at a child. Talking about, look at her, looking like she's nice. She's not. She's a child, bitch. And just like some of these news outlets reported, it's creepy. Some of the real ones, it's creepy. But it's beyond creepy. It's pedophilic. Because he could have just ended with the family. He could have just said the family is so beautiful. Him with his and her with that. A war family. A family that, went through some things in the military. And the barrettes and shit. Something about the barrettes. But instead, he literally had a public pedophilic moment, and I'm glad. But y'all keep sweeping it under the rug. Oh, it's just he just. No, it ain't no he just. She's a child, and you shouldn't be looking at her like a 19-year-old. Listen. The human trafficking of children for pedophiles and their obsession with believing that doing wicked things to children for abundance and wealth and more control is real. I was just having a conversation with my god sister the other day about some shit, but whatever. And I believe in my spirit, all the demons that are doing anything like this, from the highest and wealthiest to the poor pedophiles, because it ain't just these wealthy pedophiles, it's the poor pedophiles too, will be brought to all sorts of justice, spiritually, physically, ancestrally, and any kind of league we can think motherfucking of. Okay? Trust me on this. People that have gotten away with all this type of wickedness, fucking with these children for so long, believe that they are invincible. That's why your boy Joe can sit up there and just have a pedophile moment, and you niggas just... Because they know, they be talking about in the boardrooms, because a lot of shit go down in boardrooms. They be talking about just how stupid motherfuckers are. And as a Capricorn ruled by the planet Saturn, the planet that dominates and emits the energy of karma and time, as well as the energy of authority and discipline, just know that everybody gets their karma. Whether it's good or it's bad, the karma is real. And these pedophiles have slipped through the cracks because everyone has been too distracted by racism, by these dumbass celebrities and they bullshit, and the government bullshit, politics and bullshit. All of them will be vanquished. And I use vanquished as a lack for other words, but go Google that word too. I'm always talking about how y'all need to really go define these words instead of just going off of what you think you know. They will be vanquished, okay? Ashe. And that's what it is. Everything ain't a fucking lie. Some shit got some backing. And niggas, you should know this. I'm sorry, black people. Y'all should know this. All the shit that they did to our ancestors, raping the women, killing the children, sodomizing the men, castrating the men. And you gonna sit here and act like kidnapping children and doing sexual things to children for some wild shit ain't something that these niggas is doing on all levels. We need a collective push to get rid of shit like this. If y'all knew better, y'all would collectively, in your day of manifesting things in your experience, manifest the vanquishing and deterioration of anything that is wicked. Anything that is wicked. Anything that is wicked. And pedophilia is the wickedest of shit. Fucking with children is the wickedest of shit. It's more wicked than racism. All right? Now, in other debunkery news, I know y'all heard, I gotta calm down from that because that shit is crazy. It's some sick shit, bro. It's some sick shit. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I really didn't know deeply about all this pedophile shit until Pharaoh literally provided all of the receipts. And I'm not a person that just goes off of what people say. I go back and I delve in too. And all research and facts point to this shit is real. It's real. Now, in other news, I know y'all heard about Naomi Osaka, the tennis player. She withdrew from the French Open. It was big news. Even when I was out there in Florida, I'm sitting at a lounge and they got this shit just repeat, you know, Stephen A. Smith and the other guy talking about the shit. I just love seeing reporters and sportscasters and people just talk about the shit on mute. It's just fascinating to see it. But anyways, you know, this was breaking news when I was on my vacation. And they spent at least, like I was saying, 20 minutes talking about this. And they asked the question, they posed the question, should athletes be required to speak to the media? But the real question is, in my opinion, one of the real questions, because there could be so many questions about things. A wise mentor told me to always question everything. I mean, I was always inquisitive as a child, but it's always good to get confirmations. But, you know, the real question is, what kind of organizations fine people that much money? I guess she got fined like 20K or some shit, or any money, for making a choice. That was a good choice. She didn't even cuss nobody out. These football players be getting fined for cussing a bitch out, for doing wild shit. And she gets fined for protecting her mental health or whatever. These industries are basically slavery, bro. I just want to talk about that real briefly. You know, like, this shit is crazy. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting here because I don't really watch TV now. I do stream my shows from my devices and things, but I don't really watch TV. So when I'm in, you know, catching these things in passing at lounges or whatever, because two of the biggest things that are always on screens anywhere you go is the news and sports, I'd be astonished at what the hell is going on. I'd be like, wow, this is what's going on. But why is it so important for athletes to talk to the media? Who the fuck are they? I don't understand it. I don't see Mary J. Blige coming the fuck out and explaining herself to the media. I'd be wanting to see Mary J. too. She's so private. She a Capricorn too. I told you earlier, we got some good Capricorns in the Capricorn gang, baby. She a Capricorn too, but she don't come out and make no damn announcements. So why is it so important for athletes to talk to the media? And if they don't, they got to get fined? Whatever. It's really none of my business, but I was just shocked about this. Y'all got to think about these bullshit ass industries y'all be in. I'm sorry, it's a lot going on outside my window. But yeah, the fuck? Anyways, we still in the debunkery segment. And of course, vaccine news is in the debunkery segment, baby. Oh yes, it's some shit going on, child. Vaccine news. I heard some shit on the Breakfast Club these past couple of weeks about this Bill Gates psyop. Because you know Bill Gates is the #1 doctor in the country if you Google it. Or did they take that Google down? He the #1 doctor. He don't even got an MD. Niggas been in school for years getting an MD. And Bill Gates just gotta say it. And he a doctor. Well, shit, I'm a doctor too. Just call me Dr. Good. But anyways, with the Breakfast Club, they've been reporting on how people are giving away money and marijuana for taking the vaccine. And of course, you know, Envy, he says something like, yeah, it's good to encourage incentives for the vaccine, because, you know, they just gotta get it. They just gotta get it. They just gotta get a vaccine. What about the HIV patients? I'm still wondering where they vaccine at. I mean, are the HIV patients just getting the vaccine for the fucking virus that they don't know that they got? Wondering, damn, they came out with this vaccine for that. Why the fuck they didn't come out with the vaccine for the other shit? You know, what about them? They should have shut everything down when HIV hit. They didn't do that though. They shutting it down for the potentiality, because they've been lying the entire time. And if you don't know if you don't know where to start researching about how they've been lying and orchestrating this shit, I will always say, go to Pharaoh, subscribe to his shit, all his shit, because he one of them ones, just like Dr. Huey P. Newton, really out here trying to really get the people to understand some shit. He's in a collection of people out here trying to get people to understand shit from different levels. Go out there and start with his research. And then go in and do your own research. You have to. Y'all be on your phone all days looking at shit. And don't want to say, well, let me see this real quick. Niggas think research mean weeks and weeks and weeks. Just go up there, spend a couple hours researching a couple things and see what's going on. It's some wild shit. Land of the free, home of the brave, and Mecca of the wild shit. Additionally, wasn't Dr. Fauci exposed by his own people recently for sending emails confirming that masks aren't preventative in anything? And then when you do your research, you gotta really look at your life experience. If masks were so preventative, why don't doctors wear them throughout the entire hospital? I mean, they say when you go to hospitals, it's nothing but disease and sickness live there. So why fuck they don't got no mask on all damn day before this Bill Gates psyop pandemic fake ass shit. You know, I just saw an article come down. Now I got this article on standby actually. I just saw an article come down saying that fully vaccinated people are still dying from the Bill Gates virus. And just want to say, how, Sway? How? I'm going to read this article briefly. Okay, real quick. This article is a Fox News article. Look at y'all. Some of y'all not even going to read it because it said it's Fox News. But see, you need to diversify your research. Diversify. If you're going to be looking at the shit, observing the shit, because we all got choices, at least diversify what you're looking at. Read the Fox News article. It says in Maine says 8 vaccinated residents died with COVID-19. The Maine Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has reported that 8 residents who were fully vaccinated against the coronavirus, Bill Gates, have died with COVID-19, including some who were inoculated while receiving end-of-life care. A coronavirus infection acquired 14 days post final vaccination dose is considered a breakthrough case. Anyway, y'all go read the rest of the article. You just got fucking 2 vaccines. You went on camera, you got it in your arm, and then boom. I mean, listen, the only way to cure, to heal anything in your immune system is eat greens, eat fruits, take some herbs, stand in nature. You gotta do that shit. I don't know why y'all keep trying to do fake ass shit to heal a real ass you. Okay, anyways, again, Pharaoh exposed all of this shit. And he will provide via his platforms ways for you to, you gotta go, he'll tell you to go research it. Every intelligent person that understands how to sift and sort through information knows how to research. So you might want to do that and go eat a tree if you're worried about your immune system. Now these next 2 stories, part of this vaccine news. These are news topics that you can actually research. There was a cafe in California. There is a cafe in California that charges masked patrons that are wearing masks, $5 to even wear their masks in their establishments. Okay? In fact, because in my notes it says that I actually screenshotted these articles because I don't want to be sitting here for 20 minutes trying to find the articles. But yes, California cafe charges patrons $5. A cafe in Mendocino, California is charging patrons a $5 fee if they are caught wearing a mask or bragging about their coronavirus vaccine. They posted the sign in the window of Fiddlehead's Cafe, and in the fine print, they put it in the fine print. They're going to have to pay a penalty. The CDC has said that vaccinated people do not have to wear a mask in most indoor settings, but Fiddleheads is defying California's state mask mandate. They've been on us for the past year, Castleman said of the local government. Last June, Castleman closed up shop rather than require his employees to wear a mask after he was hit with a $10,000 fine. But recently, he said he's mostly just been, and he found a way to get some money from the motherfucker. You want to come in the cafe, you got to pay $5 for that mask. For even wearing it, okay? Google the rest of the article, guys. I was happy in a bitch to see some shit like that. And then, this was a news article a couple months ago. A Tennessee gas station has an electronic billboard outside of their joint. And they have all kinds of all their political lies. You know Tennessee, they're not playing about any of that shit. And so, you know, they got a billboard that posts about all the anti-political shit and all the fucked up shit the government does. And they display it from the digital billboard. And again, these are private businesses, not giving a fuck about this Bill Gates and finding innovative ways to resist. And I love it. That's called intelligence. All right? And like I said, I was traveling here recently and all on the airlines. Let me take a sip. Anyways, finally, in this vaccine news here in the debunkery segment, you know, on the airlines, they're repeatedly making announcements about how it's a so-called federal law to not comply with their alleged mask requirements, which are not regulations, two different words. Okay, when I was in the military, we had to follow the regulations. It wasn't a requirement. It was a regulation, signed, sealed, delivered. A requirement is something that they just saying, but they ain't really officiated it. The CDC suggested an order that these government agencies chose to follow. The actual federal executive order for masks is only applied to federal agencies. And if you're gonna tell all the little facts at this point. Don't just keep repeating, you don't take your mask off when you could take it off when you're eating and drinking. And so I'm a rebel by nature. Y'all don't know this, but I'm a rebel by nature. So the whole time she's making the announcements, when she would pause, I'm saying through my mask, and you can take it off during sips, and it's just really calm. I'm not trying to cause no airline disturbance. So I'm just sitting in my seat. I'm not looking at nobody, just looking at my phone saying yeah. And during it, because you have to. Because they'll have you sitting there like, damn, can I drink? I'm thirsty, but I don't. Anyway, so, you know, I'm choosing to take the path of least resistance. You know, and so, and I'm not going to let the mask too much get in the way of what I got going on. However, don't omit any info from the people. If they're going to incessantly announce these bullshit mask suggestions, include it all. It says about these masks on public transportation, according to, you know, all the public transportation websites. Sometimes in the middle of some shit, if I feel very deeply about it, I will start researching some shit right then and there, because I just got to see this shit. And so it said, the CDC order also states that the requirement to wear a mask shall not apply under the following circumstances: while eating, drinking, or taking medication for brief periods, while communicating with a person who is hearing impaired when the ability to see the mouth is essential for communication, if unconscious, when necessary to temporarily remove the mask to verify one's identity, such as when asked to do so by a ticket or gate agent, because this is all transportation rules or whatever. In addition, and they don't say this part on the airplane, but in addition, persons who are experiencing difficulty breathing or shortness of breath or are feeling winded may remove the mask temporarily until able to resume normal breathing with the mask. So I said all this to say, especially if you traveling, whether you're traveling internationally or nationally, make sure that you don't gotta be aggressive about it. I'm very passive aggressive when I'm about trying to, you know, when I gotta be. But you still need to make it known. Don't just sit here and keep telling people to wear a mask on the airlines. Tell all of it. Damn. Like I said earlier, I tell all the parts of the story, not just the parts I feel like you really need to hear. Okay? And we know you want us to keep the motherfucking mask on. Thank you. But also tell people, but you can take the mask down when you need to eat and drink, or if you need to communicate and you can't hear. It's brief. Okay? And then, if a motherfucker is feeling winded, having a mask so securely tight over your nose and mouth can make it difficult to breathe. So, bitch, yes, I'm gonna take my shit off briefly so I can breathe through that motherfucker. Y'all crazy. But they don't keep saying that. So like I said, while I was in the airline, just really calm, you know, really, really calm. You know, you got to figure out how to be tactful, and strategic with your rebellion in certain spaces, because I don't want to get the whole plane down because I'm talking shit. I'm not going to talk shit. I was just saying quietly in my mask, yes, and this. She was making the announcements, and you have to... Anyways, like I said in my most recent performance, fuck this vaccine and all that shit. All of it. We moving forward. Free will, abundance, and healing. Calling on all that on this entire earthly experience, Ashe. Because this shit wild around here. Moving right along. All right, so I got some announcements, guys. I'm going to shift the music around for my announcements. All right, guys. My announcements, guys. I got me a new piece of malachite here recently. If you're not into your crystals, get into it. Don't just do it because I'm up here. Do it because you're called to do it, all right? Anyways, of course, I'm going to announce myself. Go to www.NyahGoode.com and peep all of my content, guys. I got a lot of shit popping and a lot of shit coming, okay? Good things, good things. You know, you can go to my website, check out the GoodieJar Blog, the sensual mini-series, my erotic written mini-series that I wrote and narrated. So, yes, I have an erotic 4-part mini-series that you can read and that you can listen to. And the narrated version is available on YouTube. And I figured people don't always got time to sit and listen. I'm sorry, sit and read, but they definitely like listening to some shit, so go check that out. And I've narrated all the blogs that I've written in 2021. I'm gonna go back and narrate some of my past blogs, but all the blogs that I've written here in 2021, I have narrated those, and those are available on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and share. As you guys know, I'm a gifted vocalist. I've been aware of my ability to sing and speak as early as 8 years old. And so I offer background vocals, vocal production, and writing. So if you need me, hit me up. I have music available on all platforms. As you heard through the beginning segments, Shut Up, Blow Your Mind, and Feather. Those are my songs that are available to stream on all digital music streaming platforms. And I'm also offering professional proofreading services. You know, if you don't want to read your essay, or if you don't want to proofread your website, or if you have a book that you want me to read before you get it published and you want me to go through it with my grammatical eye, I got you. If you don't want to edit your shit, I got you. So hit me up. www.NyahGoode.com has all of my content. My YouTube is popping. You can Google me. I got an IMDb, and I have a stage play that you can watch me in, available on Amazon Prime. So I got a little bit everywhere. Check me out, all right? Also in announcements, I'm gonna try to be quick about this because I got a whole lot of other stuff I want to talk about. Have y'all been seeing this dope ass diamond and gold Miami Cuban link chain that everybody's wearing? Oh my gosh. I saw a video clip where they was in the video together with the necklace on. I was like, okay. Everybody has this chain. And it's dope too. It's diamond, it's gold. And they got me one too, because you know I love necklaces. I love jewelry. I love accessories. But I just wanted to announce and point out how if black people like it and saw it on a celebrity, they gonna do it too. So imagine if more of these celebrities advertised and promoted other things with the same energy as they do the Miami Cuban link chain, and as they do these Fendis and these Birkins. I didn't even know who the fuck Tom Ford was before Jay-Z came out with a whole entire song called Tom Ford's. So imagine, you know, and these are the things that I would love for them to promote. Man, bro, did you drink that motherfucking green juice the other day? Nigga. Oh my God, the echinacea that I put in my tea. Oh my God. I was trying to come up with a song. Echinacea. Some rap song, just something, shit. Imagine. and free will. They promoted that you got free will. When Kanye said it was a choice, motherfuckers came after him like, niggas ain't got choices. So I guess if they do try to announce some shit like that, what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Reject it? Announcement number 2. All right, listen. Black women, stop getting mad when these idiots try to label you as angry, okay? Black women, the first thing they do as soon as somebody say, wow, you're getting angry, they be like, oh my God, she said I'm getting angry. You're calling me a stereotype. Man, fuck that stereotype. No, black women are not angry, because I don't think people quite understand what anger is. Y'all don't have no idea what anger is, okay? Stop, don't get mad. There was something that happened recently on The Real Housewives of New York. The first black woman that's up there, Tamika Mallory. Apparently, one of the white women couldn't wait to use the word, she's angry. And Tamika went into the whole, you know how y'all do, the victim stereotype. Man, fuck that shit. Don't say, no, sweetie, I'm not angry. I mean, y'all really need to start saying this. No, anger, and then even pull out the dictionary on these hoes, because 9 times out of 10, they don't know what anger even means. No, you're not angry, because angry is some other shit. You're intolerable. Okay? No nonsense. We don't, it's very rare as a black woman tolerates some bullshit. Okay? It's very rare, okay? So stop saying that black women are angry as soon as they neutralize some bullshit. And y'all stop taking the victim role every time. I've talked about this on a different episode. Cheryl Underwood, some shit said I didn't want to come off as the angry black woman. Bitch, you're not angry just because you neutralize or stop some shit right where it stands. Check some shit right where it stands. That's not angry. So stop it, okay? This shit is retarded. Number 3. Melanated ladies and gentlemen. And this has been breaking news, actually. On my way to Florida last week, this was breaking news. One of my followers posted something about it, and I had already had notes on my episode breakdown about this shit. But melanated ladies and gentlemen, hair bonnets and pants sagging, because I'm not going to talk about the women without talking about the men. It's balance over here. We're not going to just know. All right? Hair, but especially these hair bonnets. And especially the pants sagging. All that shit need to be canceled. Y'all love talking about canceling some shit. Take the fucking hair bonnet off, sis. There are several you could get you a head wrap, and be popping out here. But y'all don't want to look like you're affiliated with a religion or any of that shit. You could literally just get you a nice ass headscarf and wrap your shit up and do something cute. But you out here with these ghetto ass hair bonnets still. And I'm not understanding. And it don't matter if it says Gucci. I seen somebody in the airport with a Gucci one on. It doesn't matter. It's trash. And it literally, that's one of my affirmation alarms. It literally depreciates your value. And that's the same with sagging pants. I cannot believe it's still women running out of the house with the dumbass bonnets, and these little boys still got their whole asshole exposed for the world to see. Like I really want to see your bitch ass boxers. What? You niggas is still sagging pants. Anyways, look, sometimes the hood come out of me. Okay, shit. I've been wanting to talk about this though. And one of the people, like I said, one of the people on my IG went the fuck off on her post, and she went crazy. She went crazy. Let me see if I can find it. I might have deleted it. I'm not going to spend all day trying to look for the post. But she said something like, y'all walk out the house looking dirty than a bitch. We don't do that around. Something like that. I wish I would have saved the screenshot. Anyways, she went off. And then I found out that Monique was bringing it up too. She said, stop. She specifically said in the airport, and I'm literally at the airport, and I'm seeing all the shit she was talking about. Okay? Shit is crazy to me. Sagging pants and got your hair bonnet on. Them two shits need to go the fuck away from the black community, honestly. Finally, the 4th announcement, y'all. White people. And while we talking about people stopping doing some shit. White people. Stop digging in your nose at the dinner table or in line at the grocery store. Yes, it's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing. I have only mostly ever seen white people digging in their nose at the grocery store or anywhere. And white girls, they can't wait to shake their hair out. I'm not going like a dog. I said I'm not going, but they shake and then they put their hair in a ponytail at the coffee. Stop. Don't do that there. You had ample opportunity to fix your ponytail. And you're going to go do it at the produce aisle at Whole Foods. No. Stop doing that. Additionally, white people, stop talking about Africa. There was something on the radio somewhere the other day, and this white woman is talking about, and in Africa, they're definitely not getting vaccinated. Bitch, don't worry about what the fuck going on in Africa. Why don't you talk about what's going on in Europe, lady? And I love Modern Family. It's one of my favorite shows to just have playing in the background because I was watching that shit before I really started to have a zero tolerance for Caucasian antics, honestly. So I love the show. Just like Sex and the City, I like them two shows. But they've said throughout their series, they at least said about 5 or 6 times some shit about Africa. Stop talking about Africa. Go talk about how trash Europe is because it's trash. Damn, they can't wait to talk about Africa when they want to bring up some type of poverty comparison, bitch. And they don't even bring up the all the other parts. It's a hell of homeless people here in America. Bet you ain't talking about that, but can't wait to go all the way to Africa to talk some shit. Go, stop. Anyways, guys, that was it for my announcements. Like I said, I'm giving y'all a long, beautiful season finale of season 1 of Storytime with Nhayah Goode. I want to do some black business shout outs. The last episode, I transitioned this segment to just shouting out some of my favorite black businesses and black CEOs and presidents and shit like that. Because I was always just shouting out Slutty Vegan. But I said, why don't I shout out everybody? There's this place here in Atlanta I love called Moods Music. So freaking dope. They have everything that you need from Dope Ash Records to Sage. So if you're here in Atlanta and you're listening, check out Moods Music for all of the things to put you in a good mood. Boho Gal is one of my other favorite places. They have some amazing gold jewelry, and like I told you on episode 6, they have Palo Santo incenses. And see, I've never even seen them before, so like I said, this is something, I love them. I'm obsessed with the Palo Santo incense. I also want to shout out my loctician, Miss Lady Lock. She is like the lock freaking, goddess out here. So shout out to her for always twisting me up and keeping me, actually I just started. I've got my hair done with her like 4 times, but so far I am in love. She's the one that did this beautiful color, and so shout out to her. Shout out, I just came from my beach vacation, and so I had on my dope ass swimsuits. Shout out to Riot Swim, Riot, RIOT Swim, black owned business. And she's been featured in all kind of magazines for her dope ass swimwear. That's where I get all my swimsuits. And she's got high-end swimsuits. Beautiful material, just sucks you in and keeps your shit nice while you out there getting beat the fuck up by waves. I took a couple hits, but I was good. Riot Swim, you can find her on Instagram. Her bathing suits is the shit. And finally, Slutty Vegan. I gotta shout out Slutty Vegan. I love Slutty Vegan. Dopest vegan burgers and things of that nature that I've ever had. So those are my black businesses shout outs for episode 7, season 1. The season 1 finale, guys. All right, moving right along. Next segment, breath of fresh air. Now, I was calling this my spirituality segment in the last couple of episodes. This name might change. Breath of fresh air. And as I say that, let's take a deep breath, guys. Hold it for 4 and release for 4. Take it in for 4, hold it for 4, and release for 4. Breath of fresh air, okay? Gotta remember to breathe, babies. All right. This is my breath of fresh air segment. A wise mentor told me to always ask questions, and like I said this earlier in the podcast, I've been inquisitive all my life and absorbing and discerning and critiquing information. In this segment, I briefly discuss something that will breathe a fresh perspective into you and your life experience that will inspire you. If you know anything about the word inspire, you know that it comes from breath. Anyways, listen, I have told y'all this before, and I wrote an entire article about this, okay? What's pussy gotta do with it? I'm gonna need all of y'all to put some respect on pussy, on the vagina, on the yoni, okay? Including you ladies. I'm sick of you men and some of you silly ass women using pussy as a term of weakness. Tell me, what about the pussy is weak? I said this in my article. Go read it or go listen to it. I narrated this one and it's available on YouTube. If we're talking genitalia, a lot of the shit y'all use the word pussy for is really some limp dick ass shit. But honestly, I don't want to use genitalia to reference any of this weak ass shit. Leave genitalia out of it. The reason why this triggered me again is because I saw somebody that I follow on Instagram talk about if some shit about something, use a pussy. Shut the fuck up. Shut up, okay? And actually, you know what? I want to go read some of my article, but I do got a dope ass segment. I'm sorry, a dope ass reading selection for my must read segments coming up here after I'm done with this. I had to go to my website. I love my website. It's so much fun. I love it so much. But yes, look, I wrote this on February 17th. Warning, explicit. What's pussy got to do with it? Okay? There's a whole article. Pussy is healing and revitalizing. Stop using that word. Y'all sound so stupid. And like I said in my article, and I want you to go read it. I ain't even gonna read some of it. Go read it or go listen to it. Like I said, there's a plethora of different words you could use. Punk. Bitch ass is still some of my favorite shit, okay? With your bitch ass. You know? So use that. But stop, don't, the pussy is the most top 3 most powerful things on this earth. And here you niggas go, and some of you fools, some of you crazy ass women, just imagine a woman saying, you're a pussy, and she got the pussy. You, ma'am, you have a pussy. So what do you mean she's a pussy? It just doesn't even make any sense, bro. Like I said, go read my article about that, just in case you need some more clarity. Like I said, if we're talking genitalia, a lot of the shit y'all use pussy for is really some limp dick ass shit. Okay? And I shouldn't have to keep explaining in all the ways that doesn't make any sense. And I think I did a whole episode. This is all in my article. I'm getting the narrated version of the article that I wrote and my episodes of my podcast confused. But I researched where and how the word pussy even started being used in that manner. Go check it out at www.nyahgoode.com in the GoodieJar Blog section of my website, okay? Additionally, there's something that came up about how, I guess, D. Wade said something about he don't lead in the relationship. Some shit about leading in Gabrielle Union. I'm sure y'all heard about it. Anyways, my question is, what do men mean when they exclaim that they want to lead? Especially the ones that still use pussy in derogatory ways. Now, let me be clear. I love when women are women and men are men. I don't subscribe to none of that other foolishness you talking about, okay? meaning feminine power and masculine power being balanced together to create empires. Okay? One of my personal things that I embody and that I've written is that it's about the balance of the sexes, not the battle. Direct quote. Anyways, men are constantly saying this, I want to lead, and yet they have not followed it with a definitive description or explanation as to what they even really mean. Is it that they just want to be the boss? And if so, be the boss of what? I don't go for the submission of anything, me personally, in a relationship, because I hold the word submission for exactly what it means, a relinquishing of power, etc. Go research the word if you're constantly letting that motherfucking word fly from your lips and you don't even know. Submitting means relinquishing of power. I'm not relinquishing no power. And so lead what? Do they want to lead the bills? Lead the house schedule? Lead the car rides? Lead the trip planning? You gotta tell me, what is it that you want to lead, man? And please comment wherever this podcast is streaming. I would like for you to tell me what it is that you want to lead. Okay? You know? Now, I was gonna break down this lead definition because it's really quite astonishing. Lead means to go with one by holding them by the hand, a halter or a rope while moving forward. Be a route or means of access to a particular place or in a particular direction. The initiative in an action, an example for others to follow. A position of advantage in a contest. First place. Huh. I mean, the definitions go on. Be a reason or motive for. Is that what men mean? Culminates in a particular event. That one is in parentheses. Be in charge or command of. Organize and direct. Be the principal player of. Is that what men want to do? They want to be the principal player. Set a process in motion. As if for baseball, it says, advance one or more steps from the base, one occupies. Have the first place in. Be ahead of competitors. Be superior to. Is that what men mean? Huh. Anyways, I propose the idea of men using the definitions associated with leading versus just throwing the word out there. Okay? Because the word lead, if it's held to its true definition, is entirely massive to just be saying lead and then get mad when someone like me scrutinizes it and busts it down. Okay? Additionally, in a relationship, it's not just about one person leading in the sense of needing to be superior to their partner. It's about both. And if children are involved, it's about the tribe. Leading a command and a corporation are different than leading a family. So know the difference, okay? Especially when you're utilizing that word leading. You know what I'm saying? What like I said, what is it that what do you mean, man? What do you mean? Finally, in my breath of fresh air segment, let's take a deep breath. That's just a quickie. Fire breaths, as Queen Afua writes it in her book, Fire Breaths. All right? When I went out of town last week, I mean, I'm always meeting the most interesting, amazing people because that's what I command. That's what I manifest when I go on trips. You know, great experiences, great art, great drinks, great people, all that kind of shit. And last week, the man who was giving me my rental car said to me, we remember too much. We were talking about something because I was actually holding up the line actually, and I started looking around at one point like, I hope they don't get to cussing me out because me and him are really chopping it up right now. But he said, we remember too much of the bad parts of history, and sometimes we have to forget that shit. And that's word. Seriously, especially black people, they can't wait to remember all the trauma shit. So sometimes we might want to try forgetting some of that shit. Sometimes. Then I met a dope ass Scorpio. She was a dope ass. She was dope too. Shout out to AV Wans. She's on Instagram, and her Instagram is so super freaking dope. We was chopping it up on some real ass shit. Like, it was the most refreshing conversation I've had in a long time. And she said, and I quote, I'm gonna quote her directly, "We weren't given permission to remember." And she was saying that because I'm getting chills saying what she just said and remembering and recalling this amazing conversation we had over cocktails at the lounge. And I felt it in my spirit. I even wrote that in what I did. I felt it in my spirit. And I had to write it down when we was talking and quote her on it. So that was a direct quote from A.V. Wayans. We weren't given permission to remember. And he said, the guy I met renting the car said, we remember too much. And she said we weren't given permission to remember. And she was talking about the good parts of our history, the royal parts. And you want to know why? Because we wait for permission for shit like that. And some of y'all don't even believe your royal past. Try to remember that. All right? I don't even think I need to follow up after that. If you don't get my drift off of that, then it wasn't even for you. Anyways, that's my breath of fresh air for episode 7 of Storytime with Nhayah Goode. A plethora of delicious stories and topics. Now we're going to get to this must-read segment. In this segment, I read a few passages from a book I want to highlight. I love reading and narrating and talking about a good book. I love books, guys. Oh my gosh. In fact, when I was on vacation recently, I found this book at a dope-ass store down there in Wynwood Walls. It's called Soul of a Nation, Art in the Age of Black Power. Go get it, but that's not the book I'm reading from today. Don't be mad. I know it looks so dope, right? I'm going to be reading from Opening to Spirit. Now, this is one of the first spiritually enlightening books that I got in my journey about 7 years ago. This was me recalibrating myself spiritually. This book talks about meditation, fasting, just everything, chakras. It's just a really all-inclusive book. It's so amazing. And it's called Opening to Spirit by Caroline Shola Arewa. I Googled how to pronounce her name so I didn't fuck it up like I did with another book in another episode. And it's contacting the healing power of the chakras and honoring African spirituality. Ashe. Opening to Spirit is such a beautiful book. It's amazing. When I opened this book up, guys, I found my first business card. I don't know if you can see it. My first business card that I ever wrote, that I ever made, that brought back memories. I'm so glad I have that. Anyway, so the section that I'm going to read from today is actually on page 63. And it's in the chapter of honoring the ancients and remembering our first ancestors, Ashe. The mysterious power of snakes. Serpents are another common mythological and spiritual symbol. The snake is used to signify both good and evil. It is also seen to depict the balance of these two opposites. Snakes are symbolic of fertility and creation. Ouroboros, the encircled snake carrying its tail in its mouth, is seen to resemble the female yoni, while the outstretched snake represents the penis. The ability of snakes to shed their entire skin and develop a new one highlights their creative and regenerative qualities. This cycle of renewal resembles that of the female menstrual cycle. In early traditions, snakes symbolize the goddess. These qualities together have earned the snake a lifelong place in healing traditions. To this very day, two snakes can be seen entwined around a staff as a symbol of the orthodox medical and pharmaceutical professions. This symbol is known as the caduceus and has a history going back over 5,000 years. The caduceus is of direct relevance to our study of the chakras. It is the symbol used to interpret many aspects of development relating to spiritual growth and the ascent and descent of soul consciousness through the chakras and along the Sushumna. We will look at the caduceus in more detail, but prior to this, let us continue exploring what the snake represents in mythology. This will aid our understanding of the chakras and how we can best work with them. In Egyptian mythology, the god Horus wears the serpent goddess Uatchet on his head. She is the all-seeing eye. Osiris, the father of Horus, was killed by his brother Set. As Horus grew up, he determined to avenge the death of his father. And during the battles that followed, Horus eventually killed his father's brother Set. Wounded in battle, Horus was left blind in one eye. His lost eye was given as an offering to his dead father Osiris, while Horus himself took to wearing a serpent on his head as a second eye. The gods honored Horus and made him king of Egypt. Thereafter, rulers of Egypt wore a serpent on their crowns as a symbol of second sight and royal wisdom, Ashe. In the Mayan myths of Central America, the moon goddess Ixchel wears a snake as a crown on her head. Her close companion and colleague is the sky serpent. Ixchel is capable of causing complete havoc on Earth by whipping up the winds and sending destructive storms. Despite her fiery temper, she is also the cosmic midwife and looks over women during pregnancy and childbirth. We see here her use of serpent power in both its destructive and creative aspects. The creative powers of the serpent are recognized in many parts of Africa. The Fon people from Dahomey view the creator as both Mawu, female, and Lisa, male. Mawu Lisa is dependent on Da, the cosmic serpent, who is responsible for manifesting the desires of Mawu Lisa. Without Da, there would be no creation. The united twins, Mawu Lisa, would exist alone. Here, the serpent, symbolizing the creative energy of the spine and the chakras, brings forth all creation. In the spiritual traditions of original Australians, the Nakur people, Wawalu is the rainbow serpent. The rainbow serpent is the carrier of the life force who connects heaven on earth. Wawalu relates to the seven chakras and their rainbow colors. Understanding the nature of the snake and honoring the snake can bestow great gifts. This is the message of a Nigerian folktale, which I would like to share with you. And to read that folktale, you're going to have to get the rest of this book, baby. Opening to spirit. Woo! Ashe, so grateful for this book. Such a powerful book. I'm going to have to reread that one in its entirety. Yeah, definitely get that book. That is one of my highly recommended books. And I think you will definitely enjoy it. All right, guys. We are finally at the last segment of my show. Toast to episode 7, season 1. Last segment, the good word. Just a few good words, real quick. This entire season, I've been talking about normalizing some new shit, okay? And the last thing I want to talk about normalizing on season 1 is normalize acknowledging the red flags of a person's behavior. Them flags be there for sure, okay? And we often ignore them hoes because we choose to. But them bitches be flying so high, guys. And even if the person apologizes and you invite them back in, accept it, but understand that sometimes, like they say, when a person shows you who they are in the form of some wild ass shady shit, trust them. It's in their nature probably. They probably don't even know they're doing it, but that ain't some shit you gotta be around or subscribe to, okay? Stop it. This could save you a lot of bullshit, okay? Normalize acknowledging them red flags and flying the fuck away. Okay? And so those are my few good words, guys. Listen, like I say all the time, there are comment section wherever you're streaming this podcast. I would love to hear from you. And if you get crazy, I like to match energy too sometimes. Sometimes I might just be like, okay, but then sometimes I may be like, what's good? Miley Cyrus was good. Anyways, I appreciate love you all and thank you so much for listening to all my antics on this first season of the GoodieJar Blog presents Storytime with Nhayah Goode. I have had so much fun. Be on the lookout for season 2. I got a brand new mic. a brand new mic stand. And it's gonna be lit. And so be on the lookout. Thank you guys so much. I love you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, peace.